Whoa, you're looking for some kind of social age. This ain't no new social age. You don't come home to Dick or to Jane, but all in all, everything is the same. So no one owns your loneliness. So no one owns your emptiness. You don't sacrifice your prospects. You're just drinking your emptiness.
Hello, welcome to Billiken News. My name is Cicero, and I'll be your host for today's program. As this is a first broadcast of a new kind of news program, I'll take a moment to explain the motives and methods of this program. Billiken News is a new kind of news program based upon the classic format of evening broadcast news with a new governing methodology. Whereas old-style news programs were imbued with a particular worldview, based upon standard political viewpoints, this program will attempt to rewrite that sense of bias and represent news as it affects you and politics from a single, simple, and powerful viewpoint. What is that viewpoint? In short, Billiken News will endeavor to represent politics and news from the viewpoint of how does this news affect you, the viewer's freedoms and rights. It's the opinion of the makers of this broadcast that this question often lies at the heart of a free people's desire for information about world events and political changes. Now that you know why I'm here and what this show is about, let us begin. We open today's broadcast with news of the budget of the United States government. Today, December 13th, is the 351st day of the calendar year, and the federal government continues to operate under a budget written by ex-President George W. Bush and passed by Congress during the 2008 session. This budget calls for an estimated expenditure of $3.1 trillion, or about $8.49 billion each calendar day. This works out to approximately $27.56 for each man, woman, and child each day, or $192 per 7-day week. If we then add in the expenditures of all other levels of government in the United States, the total climbs to $6.45 trillion, or about $17.68 billion each calendar day. These aggregate expenditure totals work out to $57.42 per day for each man, woman, and child, and about $401 each week. Overall, this works out to be an average expenditure of $20,961 for each individual citizen in the United States. Of course, these figures make no allowance for the percentage of these expenditures that are incurred as debt by the various levels of government. As of this week, Congress, under the leadership of Senator Reid and Speaker Pelosi, in conjunction with President Obama's staff, have settled on a projected budget of $3.5 trillion, an increase in federal spending of 12.9%. In other federal government news, Congress is still attempting to reach a consensus with the White House concerning federal employees' pay, with the White House calling for a 2% increase, while Speaker Pelosi has publicly endorsed 2.3%, and sources in the Senate have cited 2.9% as a likely figure. It's interesting to note that federal employees received a 3.9% increase in pay for 2009 as a result of an executive order signed by President Obama. Estimated federal employment stands at approximately 1,942,000 for calendar year 2009. This is a 5.2% increase over 2005 levels. Now we turn to news of the United States military deployments overseas. As of November 2009, U.S. troop levels remain at 1,454,515, with 1,083,000 troops stateside, leaving approximately 371,000 troops for deployments in foreign theaters. The obvious and core focus of current military deployments are the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. First, let's look at Iraq and U.S. military activities in the theater directly surrounding the country. Currently, best estimates put U.S. forces at 11 brigade teams for a total of about 150,000 personnel. Although supported in the years after the invasion of the country by a coalition of troops from 39 different countries, the theater is nominally under the control of the Iraqi government, deploying the Iraqi National Army, supported by various civilian security forces. All international forces under UN command or control have now been withdrawn, leaving a small contingent of training forces from various coalition partners. As of October 2009, U.S. casualties stand at 4,370 dead and 31,575 wounded. Coalition countries have lost a total of 318 killed and an unknown number of wounded. Numbers of enemy combatants killed, although somewhat sketchy, appear to be around 32,000 killed and an unknown number of wounded, and at least 8,300 captured. This appears to be a kill ratio of 23-1 for Americans. A widely cited statistic for the Vietnamese War is a kill ratio of 9-1 favoring the U.S. It has been over a year since U.S. forces have conducted any operations that could even remotely be described as a firefight or even low-level engagement. In short, it seems that we have won this particular war in this particular theater. The U.S. combat brigades still remain in country and on patrol, providing stability and logistical support to ensure the national government's continued control. Sources seem to agree that the troop surge of 2007 was the final operational strategy to bring about the current geopolitical stability. Based upon the current stability, and in light of the legal actions of the Iraqi parliament, the U.S. military continues to move towards a planned withdrawal from all combat operations in August of 2010. The capital, Baghdad, and the Kurdish enclave in the north still suffers under periodic systematic bomb attacks launched by insurgents. Western intelligence sources continue to credit both Syria and Iran with nominal logistical support of insurgent activities. Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and southern coastal Iran remain fertile ground for active covert operations. Various sources and reports point to activity by the CIA, Iraqi intelligence, MI6, Iranian Revolutionary Guard intelligence units, the Saudi Secret Service, Pakistani Foreign Intelligence, Syrian Ba'ath operatives, Afghani National Directorate security operatives, Australian DIO and ASIS, the Chinese Ministry of State Security, the Egyptian Secret Service, the Indian Defense Intelligence Agency, the Israeli Mossad, and the Russian SRU are all operating in various sectors of the greater Iraqi theater. Reports of a post-invasion hot war amongst intelligence agencies have come from far beyond the Iraqi theater, and areas of notable activity include the Horn of Africa, the Uyghur-dominated regions of the Taklamakan, Kashmir, Tashkent, Egypt, Yemen, the Seychelles, and Georgia. The vast extent of tension, military activity, and covert operations is, of course, directly related to the second major region of U.S. military activity, Afghanistan.